Probably should have included that in the introduction there.
Well, the only thing I know, Grandpa Fole, taught school in Saskatchewan. He used to ski to school, and Grandpa has all his papers from where he taught school.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't know where.
Our grandfather taught school?
Yeah, Grandpa Fole.
Oh. And then he ran a grocery store. Why didn't he teach here?
Well, because he didn't have a certificate to teach here, and he didn't go to school here to get it. He should have, because he was a wonderful teacher.
Huh.
He could add columns of figures up in no time flat.
Really?
In his head. Yeah.
Well, do you know how they got married? Or how they met each other? Or anything like that?
No. They came here in 1926 from Canada, married. Yeah.
And that's all you know?
That's all I know. Uncle Bob might know, but I really don't. Aunt Rhoda, Grandpa's sister, married H.L. from Alabama because he came up to Canada for winter sports or something, and that's how they met.
Did they go to school or something together? Or?
Grandpa lived in Mildmay, and Grandma lived in Kitchener-Waterloo. So that was quite a distance. I have no idea. I never even ever asked him, and I don't know if Don knew or not.
Why did they come to the States?
To get better jobs.
Better pay.
Better pay.
Okay.
At the time.
What did he teach? Like what grades?
He taught in one room schoolhouse, and so he taught all grades.
Yeah, I saw pictures where there
Yeah.
was tons of kids, and I didn't know what.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was a teacher.
And
I should have guessed.
Yeah, he'd stick his skis. In fact, there might be a picture someplace of his skis so you can just see the tips of them. That's how deep the snow was up in Saskatchewan. But Grandpa has, Uncle Don has his papers from the school where he taught. When Paul moved up to Saskatchewan, when we went up to visit the very first time, he went to the Chamber of Commerce one day, or whatever it is, what they call it up there, and he inquired about, his father having been a teacher there, and he knew the county and all that. So he has the papers are here someplace. I should look and see where I wish I knew where he put them.
And where was the farm? The full farm?
The farm was in Mildmay, Bruce County, in Canada, in Ontario.
And that's where he lived when he was growing up?
Right, he was brought up on that farm, and that's still there.
And Graham's farm, did she have a place?
That was in Kitchener-Waterloo.
Yeah, and I have a picture of that at home on the wall.
Yeah.
So they had to have met somewhere.
Somewhere in between.
Yeah.
I mean, they aren't that far apart, Kitchener
Right.
and Mildmay, but enough of a distance.
They had to meet somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah.
Friend of a friend.
And I wish I did know, but I don't know.
We'll ask Uncle Bob tomorrow.
Yeah.
He might remember.
He might know.
Or Aunt Julie might know.
She might know. Yeah.
It would seem to me somebody would have asked at some point.
Yeah.
I would think. My mother probably knew, but I never thought to ask her that.
Yeah. Now Aunt Mabel and Uncle Peter. Aunt Mabel's husband died, and she met Uncle Peter because he ran a dry goods store over in Port Colborne. So you met Aunt Mabel.
Aunt Mabel lived at the same Lutheran home that Graham did, right?
No, that was Aunt Emma.
Aunt Emma, okay. Aunt Mabel is who?
Aunt Mabel was Grandpa Fole's sister.
Aunt Emma?
No, Aunt
Mabel.
Mabel.
Aunt Mabel was.
Yep. Aunt Lulu, Aunt Mabel.
Who was Aunt Emma?
Aunt Emma was Grandma Fole's mother's sister.
Her
Fole's
adopted
mother's sister. Okay.
Right.
She was a hire.
She was a hire.
Right.
Okay, Emma Heyer.
Emma
Which
Heyer.
one had the 16 kids? Hire or was it
No,
Schnarr?
that was Schnarr.
Schnarr.
Yes.
One of 16.
Yeah.
So it was actually Graham's Aunt Mabel, not ours. It was
No,
our
no.
great Aunt Mabel.
Aunt Mabel was your grandpa
Great.
Foal's sister.
I'm talking about Emma. Yeah. Well, when did we meet Mabel? It seems like I remember that name too.
I remember Mabel, but I don't.
She's a tall, lovely person. Real pretty, real lovely. And she had a beautiful home, 132 Catherine Street in Port Colborne.
I think my mother talked about her.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
That's
yes.
why we need
Because
to know who
every
these people
year
are.
after, the Sunday after Christmas, you had to go to Aunt Mabel's for dinner. Unless you were sick. That was a must. Because great-grandma Foal, your grandpa Foal's mother, lived with Aunt Mabel and Uncle Peter. And so the whole family, everybody came down from Kitchener and Waterloo and Mildmay. There was Aunt Lula and her family, and she had Kathleen and and her son, his wife, and their daughter were all killed in the boat accident. Do you remember when your mom told you that? Did she never tell you that? Oh, that was terrible. They were coming in at night from a boat ride, and they hit something, and all three of them were killed.
Wow.
And so Keith and Lorraine were the only ones left. Kenneth and his wife and daughter were all killed in this boat accident. Keith and they were Doms, D-A-H-M-S. That was Aunt Lula's children. That was your Grandpa Foal's sister also. See,
How many sisters did he have?
There was Uncle George, who had the farm after his father died.
Okay.
And he committed suicide, shot himself to death.
Why? Does anybody know?
Knew. Nobody knew.
Huh.
And then there's Grandpa Foal, Aunt Lula, Aunt Mabel, Aunt Rhoda, Muriel's mother, Aunt Millie, and Uncle Jack. There were 7 children.
Wow.
Grandpa Foal's family. And Grandpa Foal.
Did any of the rest of them come down here? I thought I read something about that.
Well, just Aunt Rhoda lived in Alabama.
So it was just him that came here from Canada, and everybody else stayed in Canada?
No, then
And Aunt Rhoda?
Yeah, the rest all stayed in Canada.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Then for years they could travel back and forth. It didn't matter now.
No.
It's a big deal.
Oh, yeah. But, and see, Aunt Rhoda had 3 children, 2 girls and a boy. And young Rhoda, she married George. Oh, what the heck was that? I got it in my thing. George Wright. And his people were the people who invented the chenille for chenille robes in Georgia.
Really?
Yes. And so that's where they lived in Georgia. And then, no, that was Martha Ellen. I'm sorry. Martha Ellen married George Wright. And young Rhoda married a professor at Purdue University, so she moved to Indiana. And then there was Henderson Holman Looney III. Now, he was the only one that was left in Alabama. Now, where he is, I have no idea. He was only a little kid when Uncle Don and I went to visit them. But he was the cutest kid, but he was spoiled rotten. And they lived in this great, big, gorgeous mansion, which I got pictures of. And,
In one of your baskets of pictures.
I promise I'm going to get them all. I keep telling myself, recipes and pictures are 2 things I'm really bad about.
See, this is the part